welcome back to our monthly program, Good Morning Meridian, for the month of March. I'm Dan Opsimer, Deputy Manager of Meridian Township. This year's edition of the Prime Meridian magazine arrived in mailboxes last week. The 2024 Prime Meridian magazine includes updates on the MSU to Lake Lansing Trail, the local road program, upcoming developments and events, and everything Parks and Recreation. We hope you enjoy catching up on what is happening in the community. Right now, our Parks and Recreation team is currently working hard to organize the 2024 Celebrate Meridian Festival, which will be held on Saturday, June 29th. We hope you can join us this year. And now we will hear from Officer Chrissy Scaccia, who is retiring after 25 years of dedicated service to Meridian Township.
Hi, I'm Chrissy Scaccia. I have been a police officer with Meridian Township for just over 25 years. I am so grateful that they gave me a chance and an opportunity in 1998 as a police officer. I have met so many people along the way, so many wonderful people in the township, co-workers, other officers, gotten to see them grow up and follow in the footsteps, to include myself, of former officers as well. Highlight of my career has definitely been the school resource officer for Hazlet Public Schools. I did that for about 12 years. It was very rewarding to get to know the children in the schools and see them all the way from kindergarten up to 12th grade. That will definitely be a highlight that I will forever remember. And I am just honored to be able to now say that I am a retired Meridian Township police officer.
On behalf of Meridian Township, we wish Chrissy a wonderful retirement and thank her for her 25 years of outstanding service. We will now hear from Tim Schmidt, Director of Community Planning and Development, for an update on recreational marijuana.
Good morning, Meridian. This is Tim Schmidt, your Community Planning and Economic Development Director, here to give you an update on the state of recreational marijuana in the township. So this is a topic that has a long history in the state of Michigan since the original adoption of the Public Act that allowed medical marijuana in the township. Previously, the township allowed medical marijuana in 2019 when we did a lottery to determine who would potentially be able to open a dispensary within the township. At the time, there were 7 areas in the township that were allowed to have marijuana-related businesses. 6 of them originally got approved for a licensee. None of them were ever opened due to COVID and other delays and changes in the market. Fast forward to 2023, the township board made a determination to expand the allowance for marijuana in the township to include recreational marijuana. Now that the market had settled somewhat and the medical market was not recovering, it was clear that if we were going to proceed with this type of business in the community, we needed to expand to recreational. So the board amended the ordinances in 2023 to allow for recreational marijuana. And in January of 2024, staff accepted applications for the first time under this new ordinance. There were a total of 5 applicants. Currently, there are, instead of there being 7 districts previously, there are now 5 districts. The board amended that during their update of the ordinances. We got applications in all but one of the districts. District number 2, which is West Grand River, essentially from Park Lake to the township boundaries roughly, along the south side of Grand River, did not receive an applicant, therefore it's unlikely that a business will open in that location. We got 1 applicant at the corner of Hazlet and Okemos Road, which was the previous medical licensee. They will be likely moving forward with recreational use in the future. We got 1 applicant along Hagedorn Road to the south of Mount Hope Road, which was the previous medical applicant. And we got 1 application in Zone 5, which is the area around Jolly Road and Okemos Road. That applicant is the furthest along, as they were close to opening for medical licensing late last year. They have occupancy on their building and are going through final stages to open for medical, and therefore will be ready to open for recreational shortly thereafter. We did receive 2 applicants for Zone 3, which is the area in the northeast quadrant of Marsh and Grand River, roughly the area between Target and the Sparrow facility on Grand River and Old Chicago. The 2 applicants in that area are currently under competitive review at a staff level. Our recommendation will be provided to the board at a meeting in April. On April 2nd and April 16th, the board will hold public hearings that are required under the enabling legislation to allow for those recreational license decisions to be made at future meetings. On April 2nd, it'll be for the 3 areas where we only have 1 application. And on April 16th, the public hearing will be for Zone 3, where we have 2 applications. The board will then make a determination on who to move forward with from a licensing perspective based on the criteria that they established for the recreational marijuana licensing review. And then each of those licensees will have to go forward through the formal zoning process to get special use permit approval, which will allow them to eventually start construction, or in the case of the property at Jolly and Okemos Road, open up for recreational sales. There's a long way to go still in this process, plenty of opportunity for public comment still, and we would highly recommend that you come speak to the board if you have any concerns, questions, or issues related to this. Your next opportunities will be in April 2nd and the 16th for the 2 public hearings on this matter. As always, if you have any questions, the Community Planning and Development Department is here to help you, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
We thank Tim for his leadership in guiding our community through a very complex issue. We will now go to Meridian Township Fire Chief Mike Hamill, who has an important update to share with the community.
Hello, my name is Mike Hamill. I'm Fire Chief of Meridian Township Fire Department, and we're here at Station 93 today. In the background is our ladder truck that we received in October of 2022, and after building it out in regards to putting all of our equipment on it, we put it in service early December of 2022, which included, in that time period, we did a lot of training to make sure all our firefighters were able to know the ins and outs of it, operate it, drive it, put the ladder up, and how it would function at a fire or any big emergency where we needed it. Unfortunately, today we have taken it out of service permanently. We've had many electronic issues, mechanical issues, and we are working with the manufacturer to try to rectify these issues, but they've added up to the point where we believe it's a safety issue for this thing to be in service in regards to emergency response, or even at a fire or such as that, where we're not confident that it may break down during that emergency operation. So we've taken it out of service. We're currently working with our attorneys, and we're working with the manufacturer E1, and they're owned by the Rev Group, trying to come up with a resolution to kind of fix the problems, but that may include up to getting a new vehicle. So as we work through that, we will keep you updated, but we wanted to let you all know as residents that this ladder truck has been taken out of service permanently.
We thank Chief Hamill for his efforts and leadership to hold the manufacturer of the new ladder truck accountable. Next up, we have Meridian Township Police Chief Rick Grillo, who has been hard at work recruiting officers to serve our community.
Good morning, everybody. This is Police Chief Rick Grillo. And I want to start by congratulating newly retired Officer Chrissy Scaccia for her 25 plus years of service to Meridian Township. She's been a fantastic officer and a great friend to me. So thank you very much, Chrissy, for all that you did for Meridian Township, and we appreciate your service. Next, I'd like to talk about some of the hiring practices that we've had over the last few months. Things are going really well with the new recruiting and retention program that the Township Board unanimously approved back in December. Since then, we've had numerous people with experience apply to be police officers, and we welcomed 2 new officers to our department 2 weeks ago. When I say new, these are actually employees that worked for us before and are now returning. So Officer Mike Hagbaum, he worked for us for 8 years and decided to leave and go into the private sector, but after hearing about the new program, he has decided to return. He comes to us with a lot of experience. He was a supervisor here. He was a field training officer, one of our investigators, and is just a really good police officer and a really good ambassador for our department. So welcome back, Mike, and we're very glad and very lucky to have you back. Our next new hire is Alex Stachura. Alex is a former EMT who lives in the area, has worked in the area for many years, decided to enter the law enforcement profession in 2023. Went through the police academy. We hired him directly out of the police academy. He worked for us for about 4 months, and kind of towards the end of his training, he had to leave for personal reasons. But again, after hearing about the recruiting and retention program, he decided to return. And again, a solid employee, and we're very lucky and very fortunate to have Alex back. So welcome back, Alex. And lastly, I would just like to say, in celebration of Women's History Month, we have had a program in place that Chief Plaga started several years ago called the 30 by 30 program, in which our goal is to hire 30% of our sworn officers as females by the year 2030. And I'm very pleased to say that in 2023, we reached that goal. And we celebrate the women who work for us. We have a great staff of females who do a fantastic job for us every single day. And that's what I have for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief Grillo. We will now hear from Katie Love, our Human Services Specialist, who assists residents every day through Meridian Cares.
Good morning, Meridian. My name is Katie Love, and I am the Human Services Specialist at Meridian Township. Here at Meridian Township, we are fortunate to have an emergency needs fund. This account is 100% donation funded, and 100% of your donations go right back to the community. The purpose of this fund is to financially assist our Meridian Township neighbors in danger of eviction and utility shutoff. This past February, we held our first annual Baby Bottle Boomerang to raise awareness and money for the Emergency Needs Fund. Free baby bottles like these could be picked up at Playmakers, Tom's Food Center, Court One Athletic Club, and the Township Municipal Building. Once residents had the bottles, they were filled with loose change, cash, and checks and returned to the Meridian Municipal Building. We are so excited to announce that this campaign raised $2,389.15, as well as a lot of awareness about our Emergency Needs Fund. One local resident had this to say about the Baby Bottle Boomerang. It was our pleasure to participate in a very small but tangible way to a worthy cause. I think the campaign was brilliant. Families and children could easily take part. Thank you again for your generous support. We plan to hold the Baby Bottle Boomerang again next February, so start collecting that change. And if you would like to know more about the Emergency Needs Fund, whether you'd like to donate or may need emergency financial assistance, please contact me at 517-853-4204. And your calls are always confidential. Thank you.
Thank you, Katie, for all that you do to help support those in need here in Meridian Township. We now turn to Meridian Township Parks and Recreation Director, Courtney Wazinski, for an update on new improvements that will be coming later this year to the Central Park Pavilion and Marshall Park.
Hi, I'm Courtney Wazinski, the Parks and Recreation Director for Meridian Township. I'm here to talk to you a little bit about the upgrades that we're doing to the Central Park Pavilion. Central Park's history dates back to 1966, when the first parcel of land was purchased. In 1974, vendors and farmers gathered here in this parking lot to have their first farmers market. Within a few years, the farmers market grew so quickly that we then built the farmers market pavilion, now called Central Park Pavilion. It was constructed in 1978. It's great timing for the Park Commission, the Parks Department, as this year marks the 50th anniversary of the farmers market. This is our most popular rental pavilion. It provides sheltered space for inclement weather, and it hosts a multitude of local community groups, including Meridian Garden Club, the Friends of Okemos Library, native plant sales, bridal showers, graduation parties, Celebrate Meridian Festival, and much, much more. The planned renovations will increase the protective nature of the pavilion as well as a long-needed facelift. Proposed renovations include addition and replacement of the wallboards, creation of openings for viewing the park to the fields in the back of the pavilion there, installation of sliding barred doors on the north and south ends of the existing structure, replace the ceiling and add significant LED lights. We'll replace and install some exterior doors, the soffit, fascia, gutters, and downspouts. And then we'll add an additional toilet in the women's restroom. Painting of the exterior components and all of the restroom walls, and replacement of the existing roof. And last but not least, we'll add some native landscaping and some additional grass and seeding repair. Marshall Park is the first park our residents see when coming from the north to the south into our township. The park's nearly 5 acres in size, but it consists of wet soils on the southern half of the park, which makes permanent amenities challenging. Marshall Park was acquired in 1974 and named after the Marshall brothers, who were the first settlers in Meridian Township in 1836. This park not only serves nearby neighbors, but the parking lot also welcomes visitors from greater distances. At the neighborhood listening sessions that our township board held, residents conveyed their interest in a new play structure at Marshall Park. Based on the evaluation of the existing playground, this play structure was installed in 1996 and is way overdue for a replacement. In response to the residents' request, the township board generously approved $150,000 to upgrade the playground in Marshall Park. We will remove the existing play structure and then install our new ADA compliant and inclusive play structure near the north central part of the park. Some of the most important design elements that were considered was that it was accessible and ADA compliant. This will include a smooth approach to the structure itself and ramps and amenities within the structure to allow for more access. Inclusive design not only includes physical needs, but it also deliberately plans around social, emotional, and cognitive needs. One new amenity that we're including in this park is we're installing turf as opposed to wood chips. Turf is safer, less maintenance, and aesthetically pleasing. In addition to the play structure installation, we did a community survey to collect input regarding future park enhancements. On our survey, we had 50 resident respondents, and the survey resulted in several ideas for additional amenities. One was the play structure, but the community would also like to see additional native plants and trees, additional walking paths, and an upgraded basketball court. We'll continue to work with the Park Commission to complete these other amenities by 2026, but likely much sooner. Thank you.
Thank you, Courtney. We will now hear from the recently appointed chair of the Meridian Township Planning Commission, Alessandra Shrewsbury.
I'm Alison Shrewsbury, and I am happy to be serving as the chair this year for the Meridian Township Planning Commission. I really have appreciated the opportunity to serve on the Planning Commission for the last few years and get to know more about the work that it's doing. I was honored to be selected as chair this year by my fellow board members and look forward to working with Vice Chair Christina Snyder and the other Planning Commission members to continue the work that we've been doing and really provide thoughtful consideration and a fair decision-making process to the issues and decisions or questions that come before us. Over the last few years, the Planning Commission has been working on the updating of the master plan, and that has just recently been approved by the Township Board. So we're glad to have that work done and ready to kind of move on to some other things in service to the master plan. At our last commission meeting, the commission actually approved a few of our priorities for this year, and those are looking at the township's off-street parking ordinance, considering a PICA study for the Meridian Mall to look at some ways that space may be developed successfully moving forward, looking at possible update to the township's landscape ordinance, and then discussing the issue of missing middle of the housing in the township and ways that we might look at that issue as well and support people in the community. And then also looking at ADA access and how that's addressed in planning decisions. So that's what we're looking to do, and we want to keep moving on those issues as well as some of the other things that come before us all the time, and just make sure that we again do that fairly, equitably, and efficiently. So we've got a great staff that we work with, and I'm sure that we'll have a good, successful year.
In celebration of Women's History Month, we will now hear from the many women who are leading Meridian Township.
Hi, my name is Samantha Deal, and I'm the Communications Manager for Meridian Township.
Hi, I'm Courtney Wazinski, the Parks and Recreation Director for Meridian Township.
Women's History Month to me means honoring all the incredible women, both alive and not alive anymore, who have helped make our world what it is today.
Women's History Month to me commemorates women's groundbreaking contributions to our society and culture.
And it's just a really special month knowing we get the month of March, and I love celebrating it every single year.
For me, I work to bring diversity, equity, and equality among my work and home life. I'm surrounded by strong, smart, and resilient women who have given me the strength to continue to speak up and work harder for justice for us.
It's incredibly meaningful to me to get to serve as a female department head for Meridian Township, because there was once a time where you wouldn't really see women in these leadership roles. So this opportunity is not lost on me, and it's something I'm so grateful for.
I'm very grateful for the support of my mom, stepmoms, sister, friends, co-workers, and co-board members. I'm lucky to work with great women leaders that have taught me not to be afraid to speak up and stand up for what is right and just.
And I'm also so grateful to work with all the incredible other female department heads that I have.
I'm incredibly proud to serve Meridian Township, as we have amazing women in all departments that contribute significantly to the quality of our community.
Female employees, male employees, just everyone in the township that I get to work with and the community that I get to serve.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg said it best: women belong in all places where decisions are being made. Thank you.
That's a wrap on this edition of Good Morning Meridian. On behalf of everyone at Meridian Township, we hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.